and welcome back to my podcast. Those of you that maybe this is the first time you're listening in, my podcast is called Strength Through Struggle. And it's just kind of want to help encourage people, be there for people that are struggling, and that in every situation we can try and find strength, even though it may seem like it's impossible. So that's kind of what I'm all about, a little bit about myself, and I kind of just do whatever's on my mind. I go on a lot of rants, have some fun, but today I want to talk about something really serious, and that's been weighing heavily on my heart. And I feel like telling my story could help somebody else, and I'm willing to do that, even though that me telling my story is very vulnerable for me, and sometimes it's not easy, and I know that other people can probably relate to that. So what's been weighing heavy on my heart is I am a rape survivor. I got raped when I was 21 years old, and just the after effects of it, and having to deal and cope with being violated like that, and just how my whole life just spiraled out of control when that happened. And so I just kind of want to share my experience, strength, and hope with that, and hopefully it can help somebody else, because I know a lot of women don't come forward because they're scared or they don't understand, and just how we get judged for being raped, which is really not even, I can't even comprehend how that's even a thing. It's always our fault. It's never the rapist's fault. And I guess I just kind of want to talk about my experience and how it was hard, but I fought through it, with strength. I know at the time I didn't feel strong at all. I felt very weak and small, but hanging on and going through that has made me a lot stronger. So I guess when I was 21 years old, I went to a party, and I went to a party with my so-called friends. I had gone to high school with these guys, and the friend that invited me, I ended up meeting them at this apartment, and I remember getting there. I remember being excited because I was going back to school around that time, so I just kind of wanted to share. We had just graduated. I don't know about just graduated, but we were already graduated. So for me, obviously I was 21. And I did graduate late, so that's probably why I thought that. But anyway, I'm excited. I want to share, I remember wanting to just, catch up with everybody and being like, yeah, I'm going back to school. And I remember talking about that with one of, I don't want to name any names, but there was, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4 guys, maybe 5 guys involved. So I won't say no names, but anyways, I remember getting to the party, just catching up, letting the guys know, hey, I'm all excited, I'm going back to school, this, that, and the other. And then I remember my rapist, I remember him clear as day, and he comes up to me, and I'm sitting there on the couch with my so-called homeboys, and he's already asking me, do you got a boyfriend? And I'm just like, yes. At the time I did have a boyfriend. And he's hitting on me pretty much the whole night, and then at that point I don't really remember him after that. Just keep in mind, I was 21, so this was like 4 or 5 years ago. So I mean, I can't really, I don't remember it exactly, but more or less. So yeah, I remember that. I remember him not being there for a good while. I remember drinking a beer, and then I remember playing beer pong, and then I remember one of the guys had Xanax, and I was doing drugs back then. I have done that before. I didn't think anything of it. I wasn't scared. I was comfortable because I was with guys that I used to hang out with like every single day when I was in high school, even after high school. And I felt like I thought brothers to me. But I do remember I took one pill willingly, like opened my hand, took it willingly, swallowed it. And then after that, I don't remember much. I don't know what happened. I really don't. Like it was very odd that I got messed up like that. But after that, I don't remember much. I do have bits and pieces of what happened to me. At some point from my memory, I'm gonna say what my memory was and what other people said. So my memory was I do remember him, and what I'm gonna say is disturbing. I'm comfortable talking about it, but it may be triggering to others. So I just want to put that warning out before I say it. I do have a memory of him being on top of me, and I was telling him to get off. I do remember that. But that's all I remember. That memory came back to me, like, I would say a week after that. It's amazing how your brain does that, because your brain is just, because of trauma and all that. Anyways, so I do remember that, and then the next day, I don't remember that night at all. I don't remember that night at all. I've never blacked out. Well, I guess I can't say I never blacked out like that in my life, but it was just so different than any other times. And I just remember waking up from the couch, and I remember waking up, I was confused. I was like, my body hurt so bad. My face hurt, my legs hurt. I knew something really bad happened just because I felt it. And then I looked on the floor and I saw my underwear on the floor. And I remember being like, that is so weird. Like, that was just the biggest red flag right there. At that point, I kind of knew. And then there was other guys around. I know them. I'm not going to say names. So I'm going to just say other guys. And I was embarrassed because I don't know what happened. I woke up freaking confused. Like, I literally was so confused. And I even still drugged. I felt weird and just, like, drugged up. And I remember grabbing my underwear and putting it in my pocket, in my sweater pocket. And I remember waking up confused and, like, my phone's gone. My keys are gone. Sorry, I had to get some water. That probably sounded really gross. My keys are gone, and I'm just wondering what's happening. I'm kind of just quiet because I don't really know how to react. And I know one of the guys is really upset because the guy that had raped me stole his drugs. And that was the guy that gave me the Xanax in the first place. So I willingly took the Xanax from him. That was the guy. And like I said, I'm just like, I'm freaking out because my phone's gone, my keys are gone, my car, and then I look outside and my freaking car is gone. My car is stolen. Once again, I don't know what's going on. I'm confused. All I remember is getting to that party, talking to my homeboys, and then I was playing beer pong, and then the next thing I don't remember anything after that. Blacked out. So I'm waking up, I'm scared, I'm confused. I literally feel like I died, and my car is gone. It was a nightmare from hell. It was the worst thing I feel like I've ever gone through, and I'm scared. And this guy's yelling, and he's like, he stole my pills, my drugs, whatever, and he's pissed and he's yelling. And then this other guy, and this so happened to be, which I didn't recognize him for whatever reason because he looked older. He was my childhood friend, neighbor friend, and I was just like, who? Like, I was like, who is this guy? But I was so like messed up that I didn't really put two and two together even then. That's how messed up I was. And he was like, yeah, he raped some girl last night. And I just, because they were talking about the guy that stole his pills, my rapist, And he said, and he also raped somebody last night. And I was just like, that was me. I already knew it. I felt it. And after that, the other guy was like, we know where your car's at. Or he doesn't know where my car's at. He says, we're going to go find your car. He drives right to it. Makes no sense. I feel like they all knew exactly what was going on. But at the time, in my mind, I don't want to believe that everyone's in on it. Who does? So I trusted in them once again. And I found my car. My keys were there, but my car was... I was about to say his name. My rapist, took my car. And my car was parked right by his apartment. Once again, I'm freaking out. My mind is it's not there because I'm still drugged. And the guy's just like, we need to call the cops. So the cops came. They did a report on my car. And this part's very disturbing too. And I can't believe that this happened to me all in one day. But I should have reported this person, and I didn't. But the police officer that came up for the police report, he was sitting in his car, and like I said, I was still drugged. I could barely even really walk. I don't really remember much after that, honestly. But I remember going to the police officer, and I told him, I said, I think I was raped last night. Like I just, and then like I promise you, I'm not lying. I remember him being like, just really weird about it. And then he started talking to me like sexually, and like I just remember being like so scared, and like going to a police officer and him giving me that reaction that he gave me. Like it was like a sick turn on for him, because he was like asking me like really inappropriate things, and he had a wedding ring on. I said, you're married, and he just like laughed it off, like, no, I'm not. And I remember just being like, oh my gosh, this is not happening. This is not happening. And after that, the guy that I was with, the ones that his drugs that got stolen, we went to his house. He confronted him. He was just like telling him, and then I confronted him about my car. At that time, I did not say anything about the rape. And I told him, I said, why would you take my car? And he kept telling me, well, you wouldn't wake up. You wouldn't wake up. And now that I think of this, it's just like, he probably freaked out because I wouldn't wake up. So he freaked out and he fled the scene. That's what I believe. I do believe I was really, really drugged, and I feel like I almost died, honestly. So he freaked out, took my car, whatever, and that happened. So that's what happened that night. So after that, I want answers. That's what I kept thinking. I want answers. And every one of those guys that was there, my so-called best, my homies from high school, whatever, they all had to have talked. They got their first, their stories were scattered. It was like one of the guys had my license, which was in my vehicle. For whatever reason back then, I kept it in my vehicle because I don't know. But I did. And he had it. And I remember being like, why? He was like, the two guys that said that they tried to help me, they were like, we were trying to help you. Nick, I keep saying his name. He kept giving you pills, and he kept taking you to the bathroom. We tried to stop it, and they were trying to act like they tried to stop it, this, that, and the other. But then when I confronted him about why did you have my ID, it was in my car, then he was like, and then I said the police are getting involved. Then they got like really weird, and they were just like weirded out by, obviously I went to the police because hello, it wasn't right. And like I said, their stories didn't make any sense. If they were trying to help me, this, that, and the other. But if they were trying to help me, then that would not have happened that night. They were just as evolved as the rapist himself. So that was that nightmare. A big nightmare. And I just remember around that time, like, being confused. It's like, what if it wasn't rape? Because I never wanted to say that it was if I didn't know that it wasn't, but it was. I mean, I think that was just me being in denial. It was. He was like a predator that night anyway, trying to flirt with me, like was around me. So I mean, he those were his intentions.